Hey everybody, Doreen Corba here. I'm so happy to be with you today and talk about nourishing your wounds. When I think about nourishing your wounds, I think about the healing and also grief and what you could possibly be going through in your life. And also, I'm going to share my take from a nervous system perspective, from my own healing journey, my take on the steps to nourish your wounds and to really bring forth lifelong healing and healing that is going to happen at kind of the deepest soul level. And for that to happen, it cannot just be healing of the mind, because like I say a lot, and I will say it again, the mind cannot heal what the body has experienced. Only the body can do that. And so the type of work that I do with my one-on-one clients and inside the healing circle is really help your body catch up with the healing that the mind has done. So today I'm going to introduce you to my concept around healing, which is it's a 3-step process. And the first thing before we can even get into the steps is awareness. Okay, awareness that you are, that there's an area that needs to be healed. And a lot of times we may know, like intellectually, we may know that there's something that we want to work on, or there's something that has happened to us, but we don't have time. Like I call it the T word, like we don't have time, we're too busy. In my instance, I can very well say I am far too busy being a mom and a business owner and don't have time for my healing. But the reality is that my healing is my top priority. And because of that, I'm able to be a mama that I am so proud of, and a really successful business owner, right? It's the opposite of what our brains will tell us is the right way to go about things. And the reason our brains do that is because when we bring our healing forward, when we're like, okay, this keeps coming up, this thing in my life, this pattern I'm seeing in relationship or in business, or fear that I have, like it keeps coming up. I call it just riding right under the surface. And I'm ready to dive in, and I'm ready to heal it once and for all. It usually means that we have to put effort towards it. And that means that the brain will always talk us out of doing new things. Always. Because the brain is wired, we are literally designed to streamline information. And if we're telling ourselves, or we're bringing something forward in our life, and we say, okay, I want to take energy to focus on this, the brain will say, nope, let's conserve energy. It's not a good idea. And so it will talk us out of it. And that is where we as mammals, because we have a higher functioning brain and not just our survival brain, we will use our higher functioning brain to say, okay, I recognize that my brain may talk me out of this, but in order to achieve lifelong healing, this is something that needs to have attention paid to it. And the kind of attention I'm talking about is actually feeling what is going on inside the body. Okay, I've got my hands here. What is actually going on here? And when I say your mind can't heal what the body has experienced, it can heal what the mind has experienced. So our brains can, with therapy and mindset and other modalities, it can absolutely change perspective about a situation. It can absolutely come to a point, if we think about the grief journey, where we go through shock, and then we come through and we experience anger and sadness and all of the stages, right? Absolutely, right? Like, I'm not here to say that that's not true. What I am here to say is that unless you have done work on the nervous system with a nervous system practitioner, there is healing to do on those things. Even if the brain, even if your mind has come to terms with this. Okay, so there's a 3-step process. So let's just say you've become aware that there's a pattern here. I keep seeing this again and again in my life. It could be that you're in a relationship again with someone that is not good for you. You're trying to, in your business, save everyone and everything again, right? Like you're trying to be everything to everyone. There's all kinds of patterns that show up. It absolutely could be people pleasing. We're just making sure everyone else is okay. And if everyone else is okay, then I'm okay. But if everyone else isn't okay, I'm not okay. Right? And not actually thinking like, what do I want here? What's good for me? What's good for my family? Right? All of those things are actually nervous system patterns. And they absolutely come up when we have, I call it healing, but it's like, this is just being human. Like we all have something to heal. Every single one of us. We all have had traumatic events, and trauma being defined as anything that's just too much, too fast, too soon, or too little for too long. And this could be good things, right? We could have an influx. I actually just got off of a healing circle session where I have a client that has an influx of amazingness in her life after a year, a really, really dark, hard year in both business and her personal life. And now we call it the quantum leap. Like how, if you can sustain and if you can nurture yourself through that year, we're in her quantum leap. What happens is all of the goodness is coming and still it's a lot for the system. And so not only did I have the privilege of working with her in those darker moments, but now we still have a lot of work to do with her nervous system, with her body on all the goodness that's coming too. Being able to accept that, being able to see that the change is working, be able to create, new patterns of existence. So step one in this philosophy is speak it. Okay. So step one is speak it. So you're aware something is up, or you need to work on something and it's been around and now's the time. Or like me, you're devoting your whole life to deeper healing, right? Like on all the levels. The first step is to speak it. And this has absolutely been true in my journey. The first thing I did after my daughter passed away at birth was get myself into therapy. As a trained therapist myself with a master's degree in counseling, like first of all, that's the only thing I knew to do. I didn't know that coaching existed. I didn't know trauma coaching existed, right? But what I knew is that I'm a trained therapist and like, that's what we do. We go to therapy. So I got myself into therapy, and I cannot tell you how helpful it is to share your story, to speak the words that you feel. And I do this with my clients as well. Like we don't just do this nervous system work. I integrate actually the entire process here. Step one is speak it. Step two is feel it. Step three is heal it. Okay. So speak it, feel it, heal it. So in step one, if I feel like we're in session and something needs to be said, we may spend the whole session talking, especially if it's the first time something has been said, or if it's new. It maybe you've been holding on to it for a really long time and it's new, being spoken out loud. That is a very important part to lifelong healing. Okay. Speaking it makes it real. It helps us express. I mean, we're language is how we communicate, right? And so with that being our main mode of communication, speaking it in a really safe environment to someone who can hold it for you, like I'm doing this with my hands, like we can really hold that for you, is extremely healing and a very important part of the lifelong healing process. So first we speak it. And even if it has been spoken before, of course, whenever I'm working with a client inside Healing Circle, or it is important for me to know what's going on, but I don't need any client to rehash anything they don't want to. It's actually not necessary for the nervous system work, the kind of lifelong healing. It's not the kind of thing where we're going to go back and you have to retell me the whole story. It's like when I went from one therapist to another after we lost Harper, like I had to, like, it's traumatizing to have to relive, okay, this is what happened, and then this, and then that, and then that, especially so early in my journey. I wish I didn't have to do that. And with nervous system work, it is not necessary to rehash any memories. But if you haven't said it out loud before, right, and it is something that's inside of you, need to say it out loud, then that is absolutely part of this lifelong healing. And notice that I use the word like lifelong healing. Like I'm not looking for like short-term healing. That's what mindset does. You know, mindset is very good at being effective at masking. And I love mindset for business. Like, and we're going to have a session here coming up that talks about when to use mindset and thought work and like when to use nervous system work. But when it comes to healing, mindset is really good at masking the feelings underneath that actually need attention. So we speak it, we say the words, it makes it real. And I think it is very important for the soul, for the spirit, for the system to hear it come out and to be witnessed in that. In coaching, we call it witnessing, right? Where I'm here, right? And I'm listening to your story and able to hold that for you just because of just the level that I work, I'm able to hold that, okay? And so with the speaking, it makes it feel real, and also emotion may come with that. We want to allow space for that. We want to allow time in our healing journey for us to tell another person, because when it comes out of us, it loses our power. It loses its power over us. It doesn't mean you need to go on social media and tell everyone your business. Never would I ever suggest you do anything that makes you uncomfortable. But when we say the things, every time we say the things, it loses its power. It's no longer a secret, okay? And secrets literally can eat us alive. And so I don't anticipate that a lot of you have, healing that has secrets, but it's important for you to understand why this speak it step one is so crucial in the lifelong healing. Is because when we are saying the things, not only does it become real, but also it loses its power. Okay. And then we can move to step two, which is feel it. Okay. This is really, really important because it is different to think about your feelings and actually feeling your feelings. So what in the world do I mean by that? Really sad, really stressed. Yeah, my mind's spinning. I'm really tired. Yeah, I mean, I could say, like literally say, I feel disgust, I feel shame, I feel whatever, right? But I'm up here. I'm chin up. I'm no connection to my body whatsoever when I'm just saying how I feel. So this is why step two is so important. We actually have to feel how you feel. And a feeling is simply a vibration inside your body. And it can be anywhere in your body. It could be like I just was on a session where it was a buzzing in the forehead. It could be in the hips. It could be, kind of right here at the top of your stomach. It could be here in the chest. It can be anywhere. But actually dropping in what I call kind of going from the head and connecting it back to the body, like dropping it in and feeling what is going on in there. So we look for the sensation. So I feel really sad. Okay. What does sad feel like? Where is that sadness? Where in the body are you feeling sadness? And being able to name that for yourself and then learn to stay with that feeling. And actually, when you're in the body, the brain is not spinning. and you're kind of shut off. It's not that you can't have access to your brain. It's just, it's not spinning anymore. We're not on the hamster wheel. There's no hustle mentality. There's no anxious thinking. We're in, like where I am right now. And so when we're feeling it, we are tracking it, we are understanding it, and we're being with it. We're staying with that feeling. When we simply talk about the feeling, we are not healing anything, right? We're just talking for talk's sake. And I do not do that. Talk for talk's sake. I can't do it in friendships. I can't really do it anywhere. Talking for talk's sake. No, thank you. I get real deep real quick. So we want to get into the body, we want to feel the sensations, and then we just want to be with them. And two things will come up. Let's change the view on this. Two things will come up when we are just being with the sensation in the body. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so two things will come up. So Rachel, I was just saying, there's 3 steps to healing. The first one is speak it, talk therapy, mindset. The next one is feel it. So we're in the feel it one. And so when we're in the body, we're actually feeling the sensation. Two things you'll notice. And I just got off a call, and this notices every single time we notice this. It is, I always ask myself, on a scale of 1 to 10, like how painful is it? And the brain always wants to believe it's a 12, that's why it's so resistant to dropping in and actually feeling the sensation. It is always less. It truly is. It is always less intense than we think. And if it is a 12, then we pull way back. That's when we use our orienting. That's when we use containment. I even use mindset and we're going to talk about this later next week. I use mindset as a way to titrate the intensity of the experience. And I definitely want to teach you some of that, because if what's in the body is too much to handle, healing at the nervous system level is best when it is slow. Slower is better. We slow down to speed up. The results will be very effective if we go slower, which is not in the nature of anyone I work with. Our nature is we want to go fast. Like we want to get it done. We want to hustle for it. We put in the effort, we get the outcome. So we really make sure when we're doing the work of feeling that we're slowing it down. We are making sure that it's not above like an 8 at the highest. And so the first thing is, you'll notice it is almost always less intense than the mind wanted it to be. And the second thing you will notice is if you stay with the sensation, it will pass more quickly, or it will move in the body. You will actually be able to feel, it move and move out. When it does that, it always takes less than resisting. What you resist persists. And this especially is true for nervous system work, for healing. When you resist feeling or going into the body or all those things, it will stick around. It was just on a call with a client, and she was coming, and it was probably 7 minutes where we were able to kind of move the thing, move this energy throughout the body, and she was really able to come down, but she had been holding it for days because she was resisting. Now, I will tell you that the reason we have coaches and trauma coaches and practitioners that are trained in this specific modality is because you do need, I believe, it has been my experience from my own journey and for my clients, is you really do need a trained nervous system practitioner to help you through new sensations, different sensations in the body, so that it feels safe and you don't feel alone doing it. The mind will actually not let you, and the body really will not let you drop into it if it doesn't feel like it has enough resources, meaning energy, nutrition, all those things. If it doesn't have enough support or tools. So if all of you are, listening and watching and you're on your healing journey and you're like, well, I haven't been able to facilitate this on my own. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know when I probably will have my trauma coach forever, right? Because she can facilitate my system to go places that I can't do yet on my own. And I'm in this journey, this specific nervous system journey for well over a year and a half. And so it is so powerful to have someone help you facilitate that can be out of the experience. So when we feel it, the brain, the brain will always, not want you to go in because it wants to tell you it's going to be too intense. So we get in there, we drop in, we use the tools that I posted in the group. We drop in, we get in there, we see what's up. It's usually less than what the brain wants to believe. Okay. Also, I really just want to say this again, like if you're unable to facilitate that on your own, that is normal, right? Healing week, this week and next week is really just about giving you information around how the nervous system works, like how this works. It is not, from my perspective, it's not meant to be work that you do on your own in the beginning. First, you need to be able to receive the work, see how it actually works with your body and with your system, and then move you forward. But I think it's incredibly important to know all these little details about like the way it works so that you can absolutely use the tools and start to use them, and you will see results. But I don't want any of you to be upset if you're on your healing journey and you're showing up and you're doing the work, whether with me or with someone else, and you're doing the work and you're not able to facilitate some of this this step on your own. That's normal and natural. So the body will resist it if it doesn't feel it has enough tools or resources, which is why I found myself on my journey unable to get to a point before I, did my own nervous system healing where first of all, I didn't know what I'm teaching you guys now, which is why I'm doing that. I didn't know any of this existed. And that's why I just wanted to share it. I didn't have the knowledge. And then I also did not have the resources. Like I did not have the energetic level. I didn't have the energy and I didn't have the tools to be able to facilitate it. So I could not drop in. And it took me, I think I had to orient on session for like 3 months in a row. We just worked on orienting. We just worked on calming the system. And every time we calm the system, of course, all kinds of stuff would bubble up and we would be with that, right? And that was so healing. So then I'm going to actually kind of start to talk to you about the next step. The last step is heal it. So with the nervous system work, as I share my own experience, it was so healing because we slowed things way down, and less is more. It is not about, with the nervous system, having so many tools that you can just pull from all your toolkit like it is in business, right? It's very different in business. In business, you're doing this, you're doing that, we can wear a million hats, right? It's very different in your healing journey. So and probably for all of you, it's very different how you live your life. We want more, we want more, but more is not the goal. When we really get into step 3, less is more. So we want to take the tools and the sensations and the way we're tracking our systems and the way we're getting to know ourselves, and we want to deepen it. All about deepening that understanding of your lived experience, what's showing up in the body, the way it moves throughout the body. And a lot of times with my clients, I just did this week. I was like, when is the last time you felt that particular sensation? It was in, where was it? Oh, it was in the ribs. I was like, have you felt that before? She was like, oh yeah, years ago when blah, 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 blah. Right. And this is how we string together the stories that the body, the lived experience that the body is hung on to is, okay, so I know when I'm pushing and hustling, even when I think I'm not, it's going to show up in my ribs. Right. And it's going to feel that sensation. And for you, it could be a completely different area. That's just an example. But when we're moving to healing it, we slow things way down. I would say every single one of my clients will say that the slowdown is the hardest in the beginning and luxurious. Session does not, it feels like we have so much time. It just is like an abundance of time because we're slowing things way down. So we're slowing the energy way down, we're slowing the body way down, and we're just, anything that comes through is what's welcome and is what we work on. I hate to say the word work on, but is what we work on in session. So the big thing for healing it is to get to this lifelong healing space. We just don't want to rush. Okay, the first thing is there's no rush to your healing. And I said this last night to a friend, if I could have found a way to rush through pain, I would have. I have devoted my entire life to healing my own pain. And I swear to you, I would have found it. There is not a way to rush it. And so we have to, the only other alternative is having the tools to be with it. And like I said in step 2, when you are with it, it will pass more quickly. I say this a lot, like we can't go up, we can't go down, and we can't go around. The only way is through. And the nervous system tools, as we're going through, have given me, I would say, the best bang for my buck, like not in money terms, but like for like an investment of time. It's the quickest, most effective healing that I have had. But think that is possible because of step 1 and step 2, the speak it, the tell the story, the being, like letting it come out, hearing myself say all of the things, having someone else witness me and be able to hold it and them not crumble, right? Being able to get it out, making that real, and then learning how to feel it and not think about feeling it, but actually feel it and be with that. And then learning to really slow down and not rush it, and how to be with it and go deeper with the different like modalities of the nervous system work. Just go deeper with it. I'm still going deeper with it. And that's why I think I will always continue to have support. There's always more to learn about your own system. And so what I hope today brings you is just a really quick way for you to remember in your healing journey, where are you? Like, where are you? Are you in phase 1? Are you in speak it? Are you in feel it? Like, I'm ready to drop in. And by the way, I wasn't ready. Like I would say I was ready, but my body, I was like, I have this vision of me with my coach's hands, like I'm holding her hands, but my heels are dug into the ground. My body was so resistant. And part of that was because I didn't know her, right? I didn't know her. And this is why I am so open with you guys about my journey. I had just met her, and there was something very spiritually aligned between me and her. And so I knew she could help me, but I was very resistant. And so it is really important for me to host things like Healing Week, have you guys pop on. Most of you I know, but some of you I don't. Like, have you guys pop on and experience it a little bit so that you don't feel so much resistance. But as I said last time, and I will say all week and next week, the most brave thing that you could do for your life is to look at the things that need to be healed. I'm just the lucky one that gets to work with the most incredible women every day, all day, that are like, yep, I'm ready, even if my heels are dug in, right? Like, I'm just gonna kind of take your hand. So I am going to move to doing some coaching. So I just wanted to thank you and just remember, like, we speak it, we feel it, we heal it. And all three phases are very important no matter where you are. So I just want you to take with you kind of where are you in your own journey as it relates to those phases.